guys, I'm Londyn and welcome back to History of the Batman, where we relive the defining moments of one of the most iconic figures in comic book art and literature, DC Comics Batman. I felt like I should keep updating this channel and bring you more Batman here. Since I haven't done a video in a while, I thought I would do an essentials video. There are many people who want to start reading Batman comics and they have no idea where to start. Batman has been in thousands upon thousands of books and has been written and drawn by so many amazing creators, has been interpreted in so many different ways. It's daunting. It's a little overwhelming to try to figure out where should you start? Where should you start reading more about this character who's amazing on film and TV and in the video games? And I thought we should do an essentials list, but not your typical essentials list. Over the years, DC Comics has given great essential lists for Batman. You can find it on dccomics.com, their mobile app, and typically you get Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, I believe Alan Moore's Killing Joke, Jeff Loeb's The Long Halloween, Nightfall, No Man's Land, Jim Starlin's Death in the Family, even Tales of the Demon, Court of Owls. There are so many books that people feel they are essential. I actually want to spend this video talking to you a little bit about 5 books that you may not see on the essentials list. Like I said, there are so many amazing Batman stories, which is one of the reasons why I love Batman. I love talking to you guys about Batman because it's never dull. It's never the same thing. It's always something new and refreshing, especially when there's a new creator involved. And I just want to talk about 5 different ones that I think are essentials, but may not be the typical essential. Not everything can be The Dark Knight Returns, yet there are books that are just as strong, just as powerful with the message of who Batman is and why we love him so much. Batman has no superpowers. He is human, and in a lot of stories, some of the best ones in my opinion and from reading them over the years and even talking about them on other platforms and getting feedback from you guys, that when Batman shows his humanity, it is one of the most telling stories of why we enjoy reading this character. So we will quickly, but not too quickly, talk about 5 unconventional essential Batman reads that you should pick up to learn more about our caped Crusader. So, number 5. This is actually one of my favorite Batman stories ever. Dennis O'Neil's story Batman Venom, which was originally published in Legends of the Dark Knight issues 16 through 20. First of all, before we even get into the story, the 5 covers created by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez are incredible. I am a huge fan of their work, and they just show not only the progression of the story through the cover art, but also show the pain and the suffering that our Dark Knight goes through trying to get back to his heroic self. Interior art is also by Trevor Von Eden and Russell Braun. The art is incredible, and of course Dennis O'Neil or Denny O'Neil or God, whichever word you want to use to describe his writing, all put together makes an amazing story. After Batman fails to save a young girl, to better himself, he becomes addicted after experimenting with her father's trial drug, Venom. Due to the effects, the Dark Knight's entire life begins to spiral out of control. After locking himself in the Batcave for a month to recover, in the end he triumphs as a hero. I know you are probably familiar with the super steroid Venom. This story, Batman Venom, that was in Legends of the Dark Knight, came out in 1991. Bane, the character, the villain, the amazing Bane, which is my personal favorite villain, by the way. I know people look at me crazy when I say that, but I really love the character. He was created by Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon in 1993 and debuted in Batman Vengeance of the Bane #1. So people say that this is the story that introduced Venom, and for me, Venom has failed Batman twice in his history, both in this story, Batman Venom, and in the crossover Batman Nightfall, which was in 1993 and 1994, because that is the steroid that Bane uses to break Batman's back. So, that part alone, where Des O'Neill really introduces Venom and how it's this addictive drug, even Bane becomes addicted to it in future comics, already makes it an essential read. This story, Batman Venom, not only is the art amazing, but it shows Batman's humanity. It shows him going through the process of addiction and having to literally put himself in his own special type of rehab, locking himself in the Batcave, and his road to not only recovery but redemption, and showing that he is the Caped Crusader that he has trained himself to be over the years. And I think that alone makes Batman Venom an essential to read. Number 4 on our unconventional essential Batman list is one that is very close to my heart because it is by creator Darwyn Cooke. And just a few days ago, it was the 1-year anniversary of Darwyn Cooke's death. I have personally met Darwyn Cooke at a WonderCon, and he is just the nicest person, and it was a huge hit to the comic book community when he passed away, and we all miss him dearly. But the way to miss him and also to celebrate him is to read his work. And so one of the works that I think is an unconventional but essential Batman read is his book Batman Ego. In Darwyn Cooke's Batman Ego, when innocent lives are taken in connection to the Joker and his henchmen's schemes, Batman begins to ponder if his vigilante lifestyle and crusade is worth the price of the innocence he is trying to protect. Filled with dark yet animated shadows, Cooke is praised for in his comics. Bruce and Batman have a heart-to-heart talk, discovering what it truly means to be the Dark Knight. One of the most powerful panels, I believe, in the entire graphic novel is when the demon-like Batman that is having this discussion with Bruce Wayne in the Batcave gives him a gun, the same gun that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne that fateful night many years ago. And Bruce has to decide whether or not this life is worth living, if this lifestyle of being a vigilante, of being Batman, is worth it. Because for him, if he's not Batman, and this is seen in many stories, and many creators have alluded to this fact, if he's not Batman, there really isn't a reason for him to be the man that he is today. But of course, he triumphs over his own troubled psyche, his fears, his insecurities, his struggles with why he does what he does, and decides, this is my path, this is the path that was chosen for me. And he knows that he can beat out the demons by being Batman, because as we all know, Batman has many inner demons, but there are worse demons out in the streets of Gotham, and Batman is the one to stop him. And that is the crusade that was given to him that fateful night when his parents were murdered. So I recommend all of Darwyn Cooke's work, but Batman Ego is a powerful book. The art is amazing. The writing is amazing because Darwyn Cooke was and will always be a legendary creator. And that is our number 4 unconventional essential read that you should definitely pick up. Our number 3 unconventional essential Batman story is important. And it is part of a larger storyline, and it is under the title Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader. The second part of Neil Gaiman's Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader came out in Detective Comics 853 in 2009 with illustrations by Adam Kubert, Alex Sinclair, Scott Williams, and Jared K. Fletcher. This story was acting as the last Batman story after the events of the Dark Knight's apparent death in Grant Morrison's final crisis in Batman R.I.P. In this issue, Batman hears stories of his adventures and death by several mythos-related figures, from the Joker to Superman to Robin, confused by the different interpretations of himself he has come across. But a voice, a figure emerges to him, and it is the form of his mom, Martha Wayne. His mother tells them that no matter how many different memories and different versions of Batman he's heard, he will always continue. So in the end, Martha tells him there is no heaven or hell, lastly reminding him, do you know the only reward you get for being Batman? You get to be Batman. Then in a beautiful sequence, Bruce bids a good night and farewell to the elements of the universe, his universe, and is reborn again in the arms of a young Martha who is saying hello to her new son. You should definitely pick up our number 3 unconventional essential Batman read, because in the end, Martha tells her son he isn't Batman because of one single incident, because of the death of herself and Thomas, but because of the world of injustice that's around him that only he can stop. And that is the biggest part of Batman, his mythology, and why the character was created, is to stop all of the injustices in the world that he can. Our number 2 unconventional essential Batman read comes from a writer that I actually recently interviewed, which I will link that podcast episode in the description below if you are interested, and it is Steve Englehart. And from speaking with him, he is very passionate about what he does and about the characters he writes, and he really wants them to be these 3-dimensional characters and not just these heroes that save the day. He wants them to have not only personality, but more of a purpose that us as readers can understand. So our number 2 unconventional essential read is by Englehart, and it is called Night of the Stalker, which was originally published in Detective Comics 439 from 1974, with illustrations by Vin and Sal Amendola. In this classic story, after witnessing a group of muggers terrorizing a family one night and killing a man and woman in front of their young son, the Batman decides to stalk them each night, taking them out one by one. What's different about this story than the other ones we've discussed in this show so far is that Englehart gives Batman 0 dialogue. Batman is merely utilizing the shadows of Gotham City to permeate his intimidating and frightful nature. This particular story, Night of the Stalker, influenced Tim Burton's 1989 live-action film Batman. Steve Englehart's Night of the Stalker is our number 2 unconventional yet essential Batman read, and I think you should pick it up because it has influenced so much other media that I know that you love. Our last and number 1 unconventional but essential Batman read is one of my favorites once again. So when people ask questions like, why doesn't Batman kill Joker? Why do they do this? Why is this a continuing thing? This story is one of the best tellings that shows that Batman and Joker, they need one another to coexist in Gotham, in life, in their own odd crusades. And you see this in J.M. DeMatteis' 1994 arc Going Sane, which was originally published in Legends of the Dark Knight 65 to 68. Illustrated by Joe Staton, Steve Mitchell, and Willie Schuber, as Batman rescues a kidnapped councilwoman by the Joker, the two squabble while in a cabin wired with explosives. Joker escapes, but Batman is unlucky and is supposedly blown up in this huge explosion, giving Joker the idea that Batman is actually dead and he finally killed the Batman. As Joker realizes that Batman is dead, he tells himself without Batman, there is no need for a Joker. The story then follows a now reformed criminal named Joseph Kerr, whose parents' death gave him the inheritance money needed to own an apartment, to get medication to fix his skin condition, and support himself by actually getting a real job at an accounting firm. He even begins a romantic relationship with a woman named Rebecca, and they even plan on getting married. But, of course, this new blissful life that Joseph Kerr, aka the Joker, is trying to lead cannot last, because weeks pass, the Batman actually returns Once Joseph Kerr learns in the papers that Batman has returned to Gotham City, his whole demeanor changes and he goes from Joseph Kerr right back to the Joker, and the issues end with Batman and Joker once again fighting in the same place, and they're doing the same dance that they do and they have done for over 75 years. Going Sane is an amazing story. Of course, I love the art. I love J.M. DeMatteis writing. But if you really want to understand the dynamic between Batman and Joker, this is definitely an essential read. So, we talked about 5 unconventional but essential Batman stories. If you want to start reading Batman comics, of course, go on DCComics.com, look at their essential Batman reads, but also try to check out these as well. I think they're great stories. I think they're fun, and you really get to try to peel back the many layers of the Batman character. I wanted to kind of update you guys on what's been happening. First of all, I got a new logo. I first had the History of the Batman logo by Hannah Nance when I was with the Meltdown Comics podcast network, which I am not a part of anymore. I left the network, and I just wanted to shout out Meltdown Comics because they are still my family. We are still super chill. I just wanted to move forward and improve, and I'm always rebooting. I'm always trying to improve not only History of the Batman but myself, and to do bigger and better things. So with this reboot, I asked for a new logo, and my friend and amazing animator Chris Wimberly created the logo, which you will see at the beginning and the end of this video. I will link his podcast in the description, so definitely check out his work, and I want to thank Chris for my new logo. And if you like the logo, I also have a new History of the Batman merch store, which is on TeePublic, and I will link that as well in the description below too. Store. I am also doing videos for DC Comics, so check out the DC Fans channel. I will link my latest episode below. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also give this video a thumbs up so I know that you liked it. And we will have more History of the Batman on YouTube soon. Remember, Gothamites, it's all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye guys.